Another night, another Red Rocks concert delayed a couple times. People showed up to Thursday night's show wearing helmets in case there was another round of hail in that area. When Red Rocks told people to leave the amphitheater, some people, as you can see there, huddled down in the museum below. During that storm warning, some just waited it out. Even after Wednesday's hailstorm heard more than 100 people. Red Rocks gave the all clear around 9:15, then put another weather delay in place before giving the all clear again 2 minutes later. Red Rocks has canceled shows for weather before, but not on Wednesday. Red Rocks and Live Nation, the promoter of that show, used contract meteorologists. They watch the forecast during these live events. A spokesman for the amphitheater says the venue communicated information about the weather as they were receiving it. He did say the venue is investigating reports of at least one concession worker not letting fans take shelter in a concession stand during the worst of the hail. He said, as they always do, Red Rocks will take a look at how things went there and adapt where they need to.
Now, there are a lot of questions about legal liability after so many concert goers were hurt in the hailstorm. To talk a little bit more about that, we have asked our legal expert, Whitney Traylor, to join us this morning. Whitney, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Yeah, so let's get to some of the questions that people are asking as it relates to patrons who get hurt at concerts and outdoor venues. What is the law? Who is liable? Is it Red Rock staff that issued a mandatory evacuation? Things like that.
It's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
To try and answer it in this tight segment is difficult, but the analysis is really what type of person they are. So are they an invitee? Are they a licensee, a trespasser? But all of those people who come onto property are given certain rights and protections. So here, what makes this interesting is Denver owns Red Rocks. So the Colorado Governmental Immunity Act comes into play. And so there's all these complexities. And so really the issue is, and this is a lot of torts, is was it foreseeable and did they have the proper safety measures in place?
Yeah, so we do know that Red Rocks did issue that mandatory evacuation order for the amphitheater less than 10 minutes before the hail started. Does that relieve them of any of the liability?
I think that's going to definitely be a point, because they're saying, look, this is a mandatory evacuation. Some folks didn't heed it. Some folks actually went and tried to find cover. And as you just said in the lead-in, the worker didn't let some people in.
Yes.
Do they have a duty to do that? I don't know, because the law says basically when a municipality owns property, they're not liable for natural conditions that happen on the unimproved part of it. So if you're in a park and it starts hailing, they're not going to be liable for that. But here it's improved property. They built the stadium essentially. So there's a lot of complexities, and the law is very fluid. So it's going to be difficult to determine. But I don't think they're going to be liable in this case. They gave the evacuation order. Hail's a natural condition. I think it's going to be difficult.
Now, having learned from you for so many years now, is there any type of precedent for a case like this?
Well, there's I didn't do an extensive research in terms of all of the cases involving Red Rocks, but in 2011 there was a case that went to the Court of Appeals, and the issue there was that some natural rock had fallen, and the question was, is Red Rocks liable? Right. And the court ultimately said no, because they said the natural rocks didn't constitute a public facility. And so that is maybe the closest precedent that we have. But again, here, if, for example, they issued the evacuation order and the stairs were not in good condition and somebody slipped on the stairs, that might be different then, because they can anticipate, hey, this is going to be the evacuation procedure. Is it safe?
All right, very briefly, because we're running out of time, but what should people do if they were injured that night at Red Rocks?
Well, for sure, first get medical
yes, absolutely.
care, for sure. And then secondly is contact Red Rocks. Now, it's going to be insurance that's going to probably come in, but they probably have a procedure to notify them that you're injured. And then really, depending on how they respond, if they're willing to cover medical damages or not, then you may have to escalate. But any lawyer, any personal injury lawyer will be able to sit down with you in a consultation and say, you have a good case or a bad case, because there's a lot of nuances to it.
All right, these are just a few of the many questions that are still out there about this, so we're going to have to keep you around as more of them pop up. Whitney, thank you.